Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.11, chapter 13, leverage and capital structure, managerial finance by Lawrence Gitman. 13.10, 10 questions we have completed, and the above 10 questions were related with first topic, that was leverage. And now from 13.11 we are starting our second subject, and that is capital structure. You will see that we are not going to calculate anything which has already been calculated. This is entirely a new concept, new calculations, though the basic concepts are already in your mind. We are related with capital structure, where there are few types of capital we have already discussed. First, like, we should have our common stock, then we have preferred stock, we may have retained earning, and preferred stock retained earning. And then a separate discussion would also be done for debentures or debt, or they also be called bonds. So these are basically 5 different setups for capital structure. So it is needed to get your know-how about these words. First, left side, common stock. When you are giving your share of your business to ordinary public, that would be called your common stock. It can also be called common capital. And what we have said, when shares are allotted to ordinary public, and for which what they receive, dividend would be allotted. Dividend would be allotted to shareholders. Since you are at university class, so the basic concept would have in your mind that what are shareholders, what is stock exchange, and how shares are allotted, system of allotment of shares in stock exchange. This is the common thing. So over here we have tried to understand what is common stock when you are giving your shares to the ordinary public. And when you will give your shares to ordinary public, it means you are providing your shares for a particular benefit which would be given to. So this is our first phenomena when we are talking about common stock or common capital. Let's highlight it. This was our first concept. And secondly, now we will be looking what is preferred stock. Over here we will be writing the basic definition. It might not be the exact or the definition which should be used for your exam. It is just for understanding, layman language I am using. Then we have our preferred stock, and from this preferred stock or preferred capital, when you are giving your shares to public, no doubt preferred stock would also be given to the shares to the public, but with special or specific conditions. Shares are allotted with special or specific conditions. Look, when you have allotted your shares to ordinary public, you are responsible to pay them dividend. But in case if company is facing loss, please repeat, when company or organization is facing loss, common stockholders or common capital or common shares would not be allotted dividend. Rather, they will also face loss. But in case of preferred stock, if company is earning profit, these people would be given dividend. And in case if company is facing loss, they will not be the partners in their loss. A might be or slight difference of terms and conditions with preferred stockholders. So I'm very sure that you have got the point. In case of common stockholders, they will receive profit in shape of dividend when company is getting profit. But if company is facing loss, these common shareholders would also be share that loss as well. In case of preferred stock, profit would be shared, that's a common thing, but in case of loss, preferred stockholders will not share the loss of the company. It is just one sense. There might be several other conditions with which you can attract stockholders or shareholders from public as preferred shareholders. All right, then we have retained earning. Look, it's routine procedure. An organization or company will earn profit, and actually this profit is meant to be distributed among preferred and common shareholders. But say if company has decided not to distribute this profit to common shareholder, rather to retain it within the company. After a particular time when company needs finance, instead of allotting new shares to public, they will use this retained earning. I'm repeating the concept, retained earning. When organization had earned profit, this is first condition. When organization had earned profit, this profit is meant to be distributed among common shareholders or preferred shareholders. But let's say if management had decided not to distribute profit among shareholders, rather they are willing to retain it within the organization, undistributed profit. And then next year or after some time, if organization need further financing, instead of giving shares to the ordinary public to get additional finance, they will use this retained earning to operate the business. So in this way, retained earning is also source of capital. So what we can say, part of profit which is not distributed, rather it was retained within the business account for future financial needs. So hopefully you have understand the concept of retained earning. Common stock mean when you have allotted shares to ordinary public for sharing of on the basis of sharing profit and losses, both profit and losses, what I have said. And in this case, preferred shareholders, when you are allotting your shares to the public only for the purpose of sharing profits, not losses. Retained earning means if organization had earned profit, but that profit is not going to be distributed among shareholders, that profit would be retained within the business for any future financial need. So these were three basic concepts, and this is your first part. So let's mark it, because nature of these capitals are different to the nature of debentures, bonds or debts. Now what is happening? Instead of giving shares to the public for profit, they are now taking amount from public as a debt. Why? Because sometimes conditions or financial strength of the company is not that much strong. So instead of, so public would not be interested to buy their shares because they don't have their stronger financial position, with which what will happen, company will not earn profit. So buying shares is not much attractive for the public. So instead of buying shares, they are ready to give the debt. So what would be the difference between shareholders and debenture holders? When organization had received amount as a debt, they will be paying interest instead of profit. This structure of capital is actually for the purpose of investment from public, and in return they will share profit or loss sharing basis. And what will happen over here? In these cases, if you have allotted shares to the common public, or it's retained earning or preferred stock, in these cases profit would be distributed among shareholders. But when you will take the amount from public as loan, so this is actually the loan taken from public. So kindly keep it in mind, debentures, debts or bonds, these are actually the amount taken from public as a loan taken from the public. So instead of paying them profit, interest would be paid, interest to be paid. So now you can understand the difference. When loan has been taken from the public, you will be paying them interest. When amount has been invested by ordinary public, they will share your profit or losses. So let me know the difference between profit and losses. Over here, when you had invested in any organization as a loan given to that particular company, you will be receiving interest. When you have invested as common shareholder, you will receive profit. So at one side you are receiving interest, at other side you are receiving profit. The first difference, according to Islamic financial point of view, interest is prohibited in Islam. So as a Muslim, we are not ready to invest in any public in terms of debenture, debts or bonds, because interest is prohibited. While in case of common shareholders, when you are receiving your profit, it is eligible, it is okay for us. So basic difference is interest is prohibited, profit is allowed. The second difference is it may be possible within a single night you have 100% profit. That means your amount can be doubled. Or it may be possible within a night or shorter period of time, you may lose whole of your investment. Instead of zero profit, minus uh, profit or loss you will be sharing, with which what will happen, your original investment can also be lost. So profit or loss means you may have double of your investment or you may lose your whole investment. But in this case, you will never be losing your amount of loan given to the organization. Even if the company is bankrupted, company's asset would be sold out to give you back your loan. So these are basic differences. Right now we are since starting our new topic, so it was important to provide you the basic concept. So kindly keep it in mind: common shareholders, preferred shareholders, retained earning and debentures. Common, when shares are allotted to ordinary public for profit and loss. Preferred, when you are allotting shares to the public with some special terms and conditions. Retained earning, when profit is not distributed, rather that amount of profit has been retained within the business to meet our future financial needs. And finally, debentures, debts and bonds, these are also part of our capital. When you have not taken amount from ordinary public as an investment, rather you have taken amount as a loan, and in return you are ready to pay them interest. So in this way, this whole procedure, these are all four elements part of capital structure. So whenever we are solving the question involved over here, you will be related with these things. Alright, so let's go back to our question, and you can see that these elements would also be discussed in the question as well. Earning per share we are needed to calculate, and we will see how to calculate earning per share. Southland Industries has 60,000 annual interest bonds. Okay, come over here. We have first structure 60,000 bond for which interest would be paid. And then we have 1500 shares as preferred stock. You can see preferred stock is present over here when you have taken amount from public with special or specific terms and conditions, paying annual dividend of 5 per share. It means no matter what will happen, you will have to pay dividend to these shareholders. All right, 4,000 shares. Actual number of shares are 4,000. Assuming that firm has 40%, these are common stockholders, and I have shown you over this common stockholders or common shares, common capital. So these are elements of capital structure of this particular question. Only retained earning is not mentioned. So it may be possible they do not have retained earning, and what we are discussing is actually these three elements are given in question: common stock, preferred stock, and loan from public. Alright, so what they want us to do, compute earning per share for the following EBT, EBIT. EBIT means earning before interest and tax. So earning has already been calculated. In previous question, we were supposed to calculate earning before interest and tax by putting contribution margin format income statement, with which we have calculated our earning before interest and tax. Now next step is to calculate earning after interest and tax. Okay, for that we will be making our performa for earning after interest and tax. For that we need a little space, so let's make it. And over here we will be constructing our contribution margin format income statement, and let's make little more space so that it could be easy. Over here there are three different options given in our question, and we will be making income statement for all of them at once. So here we will be dealing with A option, then we will go for B option, and then C option would be discussed. Go to the question and look over here. There are three options discussed over here. Here we will write our particulars, and income statement would be calculated over here. Earning after interest and taxes, for which there is a performa, and you will be following that performa or format, which would make it a little easier for you instead of calculation by making statement. So here whole income statement would be made for all options A, B and C. First thing which we are given is earning before interest and tax. That means we have been given earning before interest and tax, EBIT, and what we will do, we will subtract all expenses related to it. So first we will be calculating interest. When you will subtract interest, we will have earning after interest but before tax. Then we will calculate our amount of tax. Finally we will have earning after interest and tax. At last you will be giving dividend to preferred shareholders, and we will get our net margin or net profit over here, which would be distributed among common shareholders. So this would be your net profit, earning after interest and tax, earning after interest before tax, and earning before interest and tax. This is your performa where you will be writing over here. I was just willing to change the spellings. What is given in your question is earning before interest and tax. For A part, it is 24,600. These are answers, 24,600. So just put it over here. Earning before interest and tax, 24,600. And from here we will start our calculations. Next thing we need is to put interest. Let's go back to the question, and interest is 16%. So what you will do, you will here calculate your interest. And how would you calculate this interest? Amount would be multiplied with percentage, and you will see amount given in question for debt is 60,000. Instead of amount, we may write it debt, amount of debt. And percentage given in the question for this debt is, I think, 16%. Yes, this is amount of your debt, and 16% is the required percentage. So you will multiply it with 16%. Here we will calculate it, 60,000, and it would be multiplied with 60 divided by 100. So you have got your amount of interest. And then we will now calculate earning after interest and tax, which is actually the difference between interest and EBIT. Your EBIT over here is 24600, and you will subtract. Something is not happening in a good way. Let's check out this calculation. What we have written, okay, it was 16%, and typographically it has written as 60. Alright, from here we can continue our calculation. Minus amount of interest 9600. So please note it down. Earning after interest and tax. We were supposed to subtract, look over here, less. Subtract interest from earning. 9600 is subtracted from 24600. We have got our earning after interest and tax. Now we will calculate our tax, which is 40% given in the question. But we will say earning after interest and tax. Please note it down. Earning after interest and before tax, EABT, and you will be multiplying it with 40%. In this way you will calculate your amount of tax by multiplying your earning. This was your earning after interest but before tax. We are just making its abbreviation to make sure that, okay, look over here, EABT. EIBT is better word, so let's correct it as well. EIBT. Have you understood? This is amount 15,000, which is what? Earning after interest and before tax. So just let it to be calculated. Amount after interest before tax is 15,000. Just take it and calculate 40%, which is rate of tax. Over here you will be calculating this amount of tax, 15,000, and multiply 40 divided by 100. So you will get your amount of tax. Now earning after interest and tax, what you will do, look over here, less is written. So you will subtract this tax from earning after interest. Earning after interest was 15,000 and subtract amount of tax, which is 6,000. You have got your earning after interest and tax. This was actually the main requirement. Now after this we will give dividend to the preferred shareholders, for which we will go back to the question, and 1500 are number of shares and dividend is 5 per share. For each share 5 rupees would be given, so how much dividend would be given to 1500 preferred shareholders? Come over here and you will calculate it. Number of shares would be multiplied with dividend. And how you calculate? 1500 are number of shares and you will multiply it with 5, which is per share dividend to preferred shareholders. So let's arrange it and we will be able to calculate it. Let me handle it. Alright, so in this way you have calculated the amount of dividend. Please understand, dividend to preferred shareholder. Preferred shares were supposed to be written over here, preferred shares, and will be multiplied by dividend per share. Everything was given in our question. Number of preferred share 1500 and 5 was per share dividend. Let's calculate amount of dividend over here. So 1500 would be multiplied with 5 to get our dividend. Actually it was meant to be wrap up, but it is not being done like this. So something is little tricky. I will try to make it wrap. Few steps are needed to do that. Okay, now it had happened. So 7500 is total amount of dividend. Now we will calculate our net profit. So for that you will subtract this dividend. Amount of dividend 7500, earning after interest and tax is 9000. So finally we will get our net profit. This dividend, since it has been distributed among shareholders, it would also be subtracted. So 9000 was last earning, and then we have given dividend out of this earning. 7500 was the earning. This way you have got your net profit, and this was required. So net profit, let's mark it because it was main requirement to solve our question. Since we were supposed to calculate earning per share, we have calculated our earning or it may be called net earning. Still dividend to be decided to be paid to the common shareholders, but right now we have calculated net profit or net earning 1500. Earning per share, or we can call it EPS, and that would be calculated if we have our net earning divided by shares. So in this way you can calculate your earning per share. And now see how much is your net earning, that is 1500, and you are supposed to divide it with number of shares. Go back to the question, how many common shares we do have. These are main shares, 4000. So here 4000 are number of shares. Statement is completed. Now we can calculate it, and here we will calculate it. 1500 divided by, over here we can put it on our calculator. So in this way we have calculated earning per share, which is 0.375. Go back to the question and look over here. First answer is 0.375. A part, earning per share has been calculated. So in this way we are going to perform same function for all three items. Let's mark it as it has been done. So A part is completed over here. Remaining two parts would be little easy. Why? Because we will be taking all these headings and will use them for calculation of next part. Look over here. This was for A option. Instead of calculating over here, we will be just using this statement to calculate our next portion. Over here, these headings are now not needed, and we will be calculating according to second option. So come over here, earning before interest and tax for second option is provided over here, 30,600. So you will be writing 30,600 over here. Interest would be calculated in the similar way, because loan for everything is similar. So we simply calculate 60,000 is amount of debt, and you are supposed to calculate 16%, multiply by 16 divided by 100. We have got our amount of interest. Now earning after interest but before tax. We will simply subtract amount of interest from earning. Earning are 30,600, and you will subtract amount of interest 9,600. You have got your earning after interest but before tax. Then we need to calculate uh, tax. We have earning 21,000 over here. Just change this earning 21,000 and take 40%. So we have 21,000. We need to calculate 40%. 40 divided by 100. Amount of tax has been calculated. Now we are going to calculate earning after tax and interest, for which what we will do, we will subtract this tax from previous earning. Previous earning was 21,000 and we need to subtract this tax 8,400. We have got earning after interest and tax, and then we need to pay dividend. Amount has been written over here, 1500 preferred shares, and each shareholder will get $5 for each share. We have got our dividend to preferred shareholders. Now we can calculate net profit. Look over here, we need to subtract dividend from previous earning. Your previous earning was 12,600. You need to subtract amount of dividend 7,500. Finally we have got our net earning. In this way we are now able to calculate earning per share. For that we need to have earning 5,100, and we need to divide it shares. Shares are 4,000. Obviously this earning is available for the common shareholders only. Please understand, we have already given dividend to preferred shareholders. We have given interest to debt. Remaining amount would be for common shareholders. I am willing to let you know again we were having these four different parts of question. Retained earning was not present in the question. The very first preference would be given to the loan holders and we will give interest. Then amount still we have balance in our profit, that would be given to the preferred shareholder. After giving dividend to preferred shareholders, even if we have amount balance in our profit, that would be given to the common shareholders. So in this way you can understand that preferred shareholders are far above than that of common shareholders. First preference would be given to the outsiders. So we will give interest, after which profit would be distributed amongst preferred shareholders. If still we have balance in our profit, this profit would be given to the common shareholders. As you can understand from it, first interest was given and then tax was given. After that, dividend was given to the preferred shareholder, and this remaining dividend, this remaining profit would be given to the common shareholders. That is why we are using only 4,000 shares which are common shares. Over here, just calculate earning per share by dividing our net earning with number of shares. Common 1.275. Okay, go back and you can see your second answer is 1.275. Look over here, there are two answers we have calculated, and now this was your B option. After which we will now see our third option, for which what we will do, we will hire these headings and we'll use them to calculate our C portion. And since statement is absolutely similar for all calculations, just amounts would be changed. So we are going to raise it, and we are raising these two statements as well. Now let's start our calculation. This is now C part. Let's correct above as well. This was our B part. And we have seen our calculation here for A part as well. So this was A. Alright, A has been solved. B is also solved. We are starting our C part. For C part, how much earning before interest and tax? Look over here, 35,000. So we are going to put 35,000 in C part as our earning. Now we are going to give interest. Amount of interest would be as usual. 60,000 was amount of loan or bond or debt, and we will calculate 16% multiply by 16 divided by 100. Amount of interest has been calculated. We are now supposed to calculate earning after interest but before tax, which is actually the difference between interest and EBIT. EBIT 35,000, and we need to subtract this amount of interest, that was 9600. We have got earning after interest, and now we will calculate our tax. Amount of tax would be calculated by taking earning after interest. Earning after interest was 25400. 25400 was taken from here. This is earning after paying interest. So we need to calculate tax. Amount of earning 25400, and we need to calculate 40%. This is tax rate given in your question. Tax has been calculated. Now we are open to calculate earning after tax and after interest, for which what we will do, we will subtract this amount of tax from earning. Earning was 25400, and you need to subtract tax 10160. So we have got our earning after interest and tax, and now we will calculate the dividend. Only 1500 number of shares was as preferred shares, and for each share we are giving $5 per share. We have calculated our amount of dividend. Finally, we are at stage where we can calculate net earning. Net earning, look over here, less is written is difference between dividend and previous earning. Previous earning 15420 sorry 15240, and you need to subtract your dividend 7500. So to calculate the difference, we have subtracted dividend from previous earning. This way we have calculated our net earning. So now we can calculate earning per share. For that we need to have net earning, which is 7740, and we need to divide it with number of common shares 4000, and now we can calculate. This was your statement, and now we can put it on calculator. What we have done, net earning is divided by number of shares. So we have 1.935. Go back to the question and you have 1.935. Our answer is also 1.935. Let me clear previous filling. Alright guys, what we have now, our three answers are present over here. Once again, I will let you know why we have taken 4000. At the same stage, we were having common stockholders, preferred stockholders, and debenture holders. There were three different investors in our company. Why we have taken only 4000? Look over here. The amount of interest would be paid at any cost. You will have to pay it. So we need to calculate remaining earning. That is why that was not included. And then preferred shareholders were given their dividend even before the calculation of our net earning. It means they have already gone. Remaining amount 1500, this amount is available for common shareholders. That is why it would be divided by common shareholders only. Let's review our question. We were having three parts, and this way we have calculated earning per share for three different types of net profits before interest and tax. And for each part we were having different answer. A part 0.375 you have calculated. This is your A part 0.375, and then B part you have calculated. This is your B part 1.275. Look over here 1.275, and then you have seen your last part 1.935 and 1.935. I will let you see just the shape of this question, how did we managed it, and with which you will be able to see it accordingly. Look over here, there were three answers we have calculated. Doesn't matter if you can't see the digits, but it was just to let you know how this performa of question has been worked out. So three answer differently, three different statements you have made, you can see over here, and with these three different statements you have calculated your three answers, 1, 2 and 3 answers. All three statements are in front of you, where you have calculated your earning per share. Earning per share would be calculated by taking net profit after tax and interest, and then it would be divided by number of shares, number of common shares. So guys, in this way all answers are calculated. Solution has been reviewed. This is your question, and we have taken concepts as well. 13.11 has been completed. Though answers are available, solution is available, all formulas, all concepts are given to you, and it has been tried to let you understand each and every aspect of this question. But even then, I'm offering you, and you are very open to ask your questions, or when you are feeling difficulty to understand any concept, you are free to text, message, or you can directly meet to share your problem. I will definitely be trying to answer them instantly. 13.11 is completed, and this was all about of today's lecture. It's time to end up our lecture, but I am requesting you to please repeat this question for 3 to 4 times. Understand the concept as well. 13.11 is completed, and hopefully we will be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.